Gopesha Gopika
Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gauraki Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanustute Devi Pranamami Haripriye Vanjakalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhayeva cha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadara Srivasadi Gauravakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Hare
Hare Krishna. Shashwin, thank you very much for singing the Manglacharan so nicely. Hare Krishna. Prabhuji, we are reading the Bhagavad Gita as it is. We are on chapter 9. Chapter 9 is the most confidential knowledge, and it is also referred to as Raja Vidya. Prabhuji, today we are on text 7, and we can start with recital of the verse, and then we can do the purport and reflect on it, and then Prabhuji, you will guide us. Thank you very much, Prabhuji. Shashwin, is it possible for you to recite the verse?
Yes, Hare Krishna. Sarvabhutani kaunteya prakrutim yanti mamikam kalpakshaye punastani kalpadau vishrujamyaham. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna. Avinash Prabhuji, is it possible for you to read the text and we can repeat after you, Prabhuji?
Okay, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Sarvabhutani Kaunteya
Sarvabhutani kaunteya
Prakritim Yanti Mamikam
prakritim yanti mamikam
Kalpashaye Punastani
kalpakshaye punastani
Kalpadau Visrajami Yaham.
kalpadau vishrujamyaham.
Hare Krishna. Richa Mataji, is it possible for you? Do you have the Bhagavad Gita with you? Text 7.
Hare Krishna, yes, I do have.
Okay. I hope your throat is a little better today.
It's not as bad as yesterday, but I'm still trying to recover as soon as possible.
Okay. Would you like to read?
Yeah, sure. I didn't do the Manglacharan, so I would just say Srila Prabhupada ki jai and all the Vaishnava Vrind ki jai.
Jai.
Sarvabhutani Kaunteya
Sarvabhutani Kaunteya
Prakritim Yanti Mamikam
Prakritim Yani Mamikam
Kalpakashe Punashtani
Kalpashaye Punastani
Kalpadau Virchamiyaham.
Kalpadau Visrajam Yaham.
Hare
Hare
Krishna.
Krishna.
Hare Krishna. I see Madan Gopal Prabhuji has also joined our group. So Danvat Pranam Prabhuji. Thank you for giving your time and joining us today.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. We are doing the Bhagavad Gita as it is, chapter 9. Yes, chapter 9. And today is text 7.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for joining. Danvat Pranam. Please accept our humble obeisances. Let's do the word-to-word translation. Sorry, Soni Mataji, is it possible for you to do the word-to-word translation? Okay, I can do the word-to-word translation. Sarva Bhutani.
Sarva Bhutani.
All created entities.
All
Created
entities.
entities. Konteya. Konteya. O son of Kunti.
Kunteya. O son of Kunti.
Prakritim.
Prakratim.
Nature.
Nature.
Yanti.
Yanti.
Enter.
Enter.
Mamikam.
Mamikam.
My.
My.
Kalpakshaya.
Kalpakshaye.
At the end of the millennium.
At the end of the millennium.
Puna.
Punaha.
Again.
Again.
Tani.
Tani.
All those.
All those.
Kalpa Dau.
Kalpa Adau.
In the beginning of the millennium.
In the beginning of the millennium.
Vishrajami.
Vishrajami.
Create.
Create.
Aham. I.
I.
Translation. Ravi Prabhuji, is it possible for you to read the translation? Yes, Prabhuji, there is a request. Can you, Madan Gopal Prabhuji, is it possible for you to read the translation?
Yeah, sure.
And lead the class.
And lead the class?
Read the translation.
No offense to Pran Hari.
No, I'll just read the translation. It's fine. O son of Kunti, at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature. And at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again. Can you read the purport? Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki jai.
Okay.
The creation, maintenance, and annihilation of this material cosmic manifestation are completely dependent on the supreme will of the personality of Godhead. At the end of the millennium means at the death of Brahma. Brahma lives for 100 years, and his one day is calculated at 4.3 billion of our earthly years. His night is of the same duration. His month consists of 30 such days and nights, and his year of 12 months. After 100 such years, when Brahma dies, the devastation or annihilation takes place. This means that the energy manifested by the Supreme Lord is again wound up in himself. And again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by his will. Bahu Syam. Although I am one, I shall become many. This is the Vedic aphorism, Chandogya Upanishad. He expands himself in this material energy, and the whole cosmic manifestation again takes place. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for reading the purport and the translation. Prabhuji, as requested by everybody, is it possible for you to shed some light on this text?
Okay, I wasn't planning, I just came to listen, but maybe I can share a few thoughts.
Then we can all reflect after you
Sure.
give.
Yeah, I'll just share a few thoughts on this. So, chapter 9 is one of the very key chapters. It's one of the central chapters, right? And this one is called the most confidential knowledge. The most confidential knowledge meaning that this is the secret of all secrets. And then Krishna in early chapter 9 he says that is a king of all knowledge, king of all education, Raj Vidya Raj Gohyam. So everything that I'm going to summarize in this chapter, Krishna says, it is the perfection of religion. It is the purest knowledge, and it gives a direct perception of the self. Right? Then he also goes on to say that if one doesn't stick to this process, then also one cannot come to me. So the process, sticking to the process is important. Then in text 4, he starts giving the context of his greatness. And the reason for that is we can fully appreciate how everything we see around us is fully and totally dependent on him, comes from him, and it is such a massive, gigantic scale. And to put in that context, then he explains to Arjuna, you see, how big and amazing everything is, right? And that he is pervading in everything, every aspect of the creation. At the same time, everything that's created does not rest in me, or in the sense that, I'm maintaining everybody and I'm everywhere, but I'm not part of this cosmic manifestation. In other words, he's not a creation of this world. He is the cause of the creation, right? He says, because I myself am the source of this creation, so I'm not a part of this. I'm not a product of this world. This world is product of me. And then text 6, he says just that the wind is blowing in space. Space is allocated, length, width, and depth or height. That's a space that's allocated, and within that space, the air is moving around, right? So within this allocated space, all living creatures, all creations, and all created beings, they are resting within me. In other words, they are in me, but I am not a product of this world. So he's trying to explain his immanence. Immanence means his ever presence everywhere and full power of everything, and his independence. That concept is very important because sometimes someone may have some incomplete or false understanding of who God is and how much power he has and how much he is invested personally in the details of the ongoings of this world. You see? Now here, as we come to text 7, he explains how everything is created by him and wound up by him at the end of every millennium. And Srila Prabhupada explains in the purport that the millennium lasts a long time. Millennium is 100 years of Brahma. And you calculate 100 years of Brahma by first getting a feel for how big is his one day, his daytime. His 12 hours is 4.3 billion years. That's a long time. We can't fathom how long that time is. Sometimes we can't even think 100 years ago how things were different. We can't think in terms of 100 years, 200 years, 1,000 years, or to speak of millions and billions of years. And then on top of that, this 4.3 billion years, that is just the 12 hours of Lord Brahma. Then he goes to sleep for his another 12 hours. And then 30 such days of Lord Brahma make his 1 month, and 12 such months make his 1 year, and 100 such years make Brahma's full lifespan. And then he also dies. And to make things even more complicated or more mind-blowing is that this Brahma is not the only Brahma. There are other Brahmas, hundreds and thousands of millions of other Brahmas to take care of millions and billions of other universes that are constantly being created and destroyed. Like bubbles rising in the ocean and then they come up and they pop. So this universe is like bubbles. And if you see this painting of Krishna or Vishnu when he's breathing out and the universe is coming out of his pores like bubbles, that's Mahavishnu. And then within each bubble, Krishna enters again as Garbhodakshaya Vishnu, and from Garbhodakshaya Vishnu a lotus sprouts, and on top of that lotus, Lord Brahma is born, and then Lord Brahma takes care of the whole creation and everything under the power and authority of Lord Krishna. And so like that, there's so many bubbles being formed and popping and formed and popping, and they get wound up. When he breathes in, when Vishnu breathes in, everything is wound up, rests for a while, and then breathes out again. So it's like breathing in, breathing out. For him, it's just yoga nidra. He's just relaxing, chilling, and he's breathing in and out. So Krishna here is giving the context, one, of how powerful he is, two, how everything from the creation, maintenance, and destruction. Completely depends on his supreme will. And 3, how much he is personally invested in the detailed nitty-gritty ongoings of this material world. His point is trying to say that I am not so dependent on, I'm not dependent at all on what goes in the world. The world depends on me. And later on, we will find that Krishna describes about how he is the father, he's the mother of this universe. Everything depends on him in many more detailed ways. We'll find that. You see? And then he describes about himself, how one can come to him, after unraveling themselves from this complex material creation. So that's what's going to be the topic of this particular chapter. But let's come back to this verse again, that at the end of the millennium, all material manifestations enter into my nature, and at the beginning of another millennium, by my potency, I create them again and again. This is to give us an appreciation and reflect deeply on how great Krishna is. He will talk about this point again in chapter 15, where he goes into some more details. For example, in chapter 15, he says, Gama Vishyacha Bhutani Dharyam Mojasa, that all these planets and universes that are floating, they are floating by my energy and by my potency. I make them float and move around in the orbits. Tushnami Chaushadi Sarva Samabhutmar Satmaka. And then the rays of the moon, which is also one of the floating bodies, they enter into the foodstuffs when the vegetables are growing, and they provide the nutrients that the vegetables need. That nutrients then we eat, right? And then the next verse after this says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashida. That I am the fire of digestion also. So he says, I am that light of the moon. I am also holding up the moon and everything. I create the moon. I shine the moonlight into the vegetables. Then you eat it. And then he says, Aham Vaishvanaro Bhutva Praninam Dehamashida. Pranapana Samayutam Pachami Annam Chaturudam. I am the fire of digestion that breaks down that food and gives you energy and gives you the ability to live. So Krishna, again, he's impressing upon us that not only is he creating this massive universe, he gets involved with us at the cosmic level and at the microscopic level of digestion of the food. That's how involved he is in maintaining us. See? But at the same time, another point to remember is that he will pay special attention to any person, any soul that shows interest in turning to him. That point he's going to make in this chapter. That is why it's important to understand the context, right? He will tell us how we can express or how we can start turning to him. He will express simple ways of showing our love to him and how there's no prior qualification required for doing that. That Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam, that verse, just offer me a leaf fruit. That is in this chapter, chapter 9. You see? And in that verse, he uses the word bhakti 2 times in one verse. You see? The word bhakti appears twice in that same verse. So if one offers me with love, this devotion, bhakti, then I will accept it. And then in the same chapter, he also says that I am not partial to anybody. I am not impartial, I am not partial. But anyone who comes to me and shows special interest in me, interest in serving me, interest in redeveloping his love for me, then to him I will show similar interest and more, So that is not impartial, that is not partiality, that is just natural. So Krishna is telling that he will be hands off for people who want to stay away from him, even though he provides the whole universe and everything for them to enjoy and pretend that there's no God, everything. He's the one who provides all that. He said, I provide that for everybody. Everybody gets that. But special attention, one-on-one attention, that I only give to those who are interested in me. And how do you show that interest? Well, these are some ways that you can show the interest. Constantly thinking of me, offering me leaf fruit flowers. So these are all very essential secret points Krishna is giving, and that is why this chapter 9 is really, really wonderful chapter. That is why it is called the most confidential knowledge. It's an open secret. Why is it even a secret if it's open? Because the realization of that knowledge in that chapter is only available to one who implements the process. It's possible to read it, but you don't implement it, you won't get the realization, you won't get understanding. You may memorize it, but if you don't implement it, you won't know it. See, memorizing and knowing are two different things. If I write 2 pages about what honey is made of, all the components, how it is made, how the bees do it, and there's a jar of it over there. I've never tasted honey. I can write as many books as possible. When I read those books, still I will not know what the honey tastes like unless I taste it. It is called open secret. The honey jar is available, it's open to us. But unless we take a spoonful and taste it, we will not know it. That is what Krishna is telling us to do. You practice Krishna consciousness. Practice the process. You will get special attention from me, no doubt. So much so that if there's anything lacking in you, I will bring it. And if whatever assets you have, spiritual assets, I will preserve them. That verse is also in this chapter. You know that verse? What is the verse? I think that's in this chapter. Yeah, 22. Right? Ananyaschintayantam mam ye jana paripasite. Tesham nityabhayuktanam yogakshemam vahamyaham. This line is so famous. Yogakshemam vahamyaham. That I carry to them what they lack. So this is again a way that I, who is the Supreme Lord, will show special attention. I will not do that for other people, okay? This is only reserved for those who are showing interest in me. Those who are my bhaktas, they're the ones who are showing interest in me. Doesn't mean I don't feed the other people. Everybody gets fed. But they are under the energy of the material rules and regulations and material justice. Whereas my devotees, they don't fall under justice. They fall under the umbrella of my mercy. Mercy is higher than justice. You see, justice means you did this bad things, you get this many punishment. You did this good thing, you get this thing. Mercy means I don't care what you did. I'm going to be merciful to you. Forgive everything else. Don't worry, it's okay. Forgive, minimize it to the point of it's completely gone. Mercy is much, much higher than justice. So that is how Krishna operates. When we get Krishna's special attention, then we fall under that umbrella of his Devi Prakriti, his divine energy. But if we choose to turn away from Krishna, then we fall under the umbrella of Mohini Prakriti. Krishna also explains that. Mogasha, Moga Karmana, Moga Jnana Vicheshasa, Rakshashim Asvrim Chaiva, Mohinim Prakriti Mashrita. So this Mohini, this deluding energy, those who are of the Rakshashi or demoniac or materialistic inclinations, want to exploit selfishly, to them they will fall under the shelter of Mohini Prakriti, which is Maya. Right? But Mahatma Anastu Maham Partha, but the great souls, right? They fall under the shelter of Devi Prakriti. Devi Prakriti refers to Krishna's internal or divine energy. So Mahamaya refers to Amba, Durga, the superintendent of the jail. Devi Prakriti refers to Srimati Radharani. So Srimati Radharani is referred to in Bhagavad Gita in a hidden way in that verse. It's amazing. And the secret to that is not found in the purports in the Gita. Secret to that is found in Nectar of Devotion. Where Srila Prabhupada, when he's writing purports Nectar of Devotion, he references that verse and he says, this is referring to Radharani. You see? So that's why you should read all of Prabhupada's books. Then it makes all the connection. It's very sweet. But yeah, so this is just like a summary of chapter 9. This is one of the most important chapters. Strongly recommend that we memorize most of the verses in here. Read them again and again and see how the thoughts and the themes are connected to each other very beautifully. So I'm going to pause here. We can have some reflections. I didn't quite prepare anything. I just kind of speaking off the cuff. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you, Prabhuji, for dropping in our class. Pran Hari Prabhuji was our mentor for today, is our mentor for today. So Pran Hari Prabhu kindly.
Hare Krishna. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yeah. Madan Gopal Prabhu, you still can continue. You're doing good. Yeah.
No, please go ahead. I just kind of started late.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think you have covered everything. But let me share something which is maybe helpful, and I'll try to convey the message. First of all, Prabhu says that it is one of the beautiful chapter in Bhagavad Gita. All chapters are good, but some of them which is coming to the like in Bhakti Yoga chapters, they are really nice and gives a lot of insight that how do we practice and how do we inculcate the knowledge of the, like as mentioned, this Raj Vidya. So that is very important. Now, just mentioning in the purport, one second, purport, yeah. So in the purport, it is mentioned about the, the Burma's death. So I will continue from there, and then it says that in the end it says that then again we need to manifest the cosmic world. So I will cover in that part of it. It's one of the beautiful chapters, which is I find is it's one of the about the Lord. So first of all, we need to understand, as Prabhu also mentioned so many times, that we need to understand that why the Lord is creating again and again. And it's not mentioned in Bhagavad Gita, it's mentioned in Bhagavatam, it's mentioned in Charita Charitam. Everywhere it's mentioned, and it's not one time, it's many, many times it's mentioned that the I'm the creator, I'm the annihilator, and the maintainer. So it's mentioned so many times, and we need to understand that why so many time it is mentioned and what we have to learn. As Prabhu also mentioned that we are the creator, and there are so many nice verses are there in this particular chapter about the bhakti and all that. So we need to understand that. Even the if you look at the Prahlad Maharaj also mentioning to Narasimhadev that that this world is created by you and everything, but still we feel that we have created this thing. Like we create a house and we feel that, oh, this is my creation and all that, but we don't know who's the ultimate creator of this world and this universe. So we don't understand that, and we try to secure everything. We try to do so many things for this our material things, but we don't understand. Still we don't understand. We still have a challenges of understanding, because the moment we are there in mood, the goodness, or the satoguna, the or the pure goodness also, some for some time, which is difficult. But yes, we feel that okay, then but after coming out of from that satoguna or this then we still feel that we are the creator, and then we have done everything in this world. So that is the problem with us. So the Prahlad Maharaj is saying that we try to give the security to our children, our so many things and all that, but still the people die. Why they die? Because we don't have that power. We don't have a power. It's power. Where the power lies? The power lies with the God. So same here. The Brahma dies. Why Brahma is dying? Brahma is living 100 years. But who has the power? Why it is defined 100 years of Brahma? Why it does not more? Because again, Brahma is also, because he's not a supreme controller. Brahma is also have a limitation, and that limitation is already defined in this particular verse. Is like he lives for 100 years. And if you look at that 100 years of Brahma is in billions of years, right? Billions. But if you look at that, our life, it's just 100 years, and still we don't learn it. It's very small compared to Brahma's days, and compares to our days, it's like 365 into 100. How many? 3,000 something like that. 300,000, whatever it is, coming to calculation. It's very less. And the Brahma, still Brahma try to learn about, to understand about the Supreme Personality of Godhead. But we feel that when we come out from this Satoguna, we still struggle a lot. We struggle a lot. Even the Kunti Maharani is also saying that, the same thing, that you are the creator, and she praying a lot. And then if you look at that in the first canto, she's just started with the prayer, and then she said that, yeah, you are creator, you are everything. And that we need to understand. And that's what this particular verse is saying, that it's trying to reflect that we need to understand that why the Brahma's days is defined, because the Brahma is on the top position. Still it's defined like 100 days, 100 years. So Brahma cannot achieve that is in 100 years. What about us? But still we are lucky, that we are fortunate that we have this Harinam, and we can actually achieve it. The only thing that we have to be practice and practice and practice, and that is the only way. Maybe in this life, maybe in another life, but yes. And there's no waste of time, actually. It's a gaining, actually. You adding something, like you are adding the number of count you are doing on Harinam, it's adding to your bank account. It's a spiritual bank account, and it will be keep adding on. So we have to understand that this one. So now just talking about this particular line in from these purport from Srila Prabhupada, that then again, when there is a need to manifest the cosmic world, it is done by his will. Bahusayama. Although I am one, I shall become many. So basically, let's just talking about this particular subject is basically that where it start the creation is basically that from Karunadakshay Vishnu. So there's only one Karunadakshay Vishnu. When the Lord, I'm talking about the first, I'm just starting from the first very beginning, where basically that the first creation happened, and where the Karunadakshay started, from there, and then from the Lord, and then his job is to breathe. The Lord's job is to breathe, and while he's breathing, he produced a lot of universe. Basically, like when he exhale, actually when he take out his breath, then the lot of universe are created. When he inhale, the lot of universe goes inside him, and into the Lord's. And that's how it is happen, this one. And then from these Corona expression, the Lord create basically from the water, from his body water, he actually create a Garbhodakshay Vishnu. And then basically that the universe which is created, like there's so many universe is exhaling, so the universe are creating. So I'm just giving an example of one. Let's take one universe. So one universe, he fill the universe with half of the water, and then in that the half of the water, basically the Garbhodakshay sits, and he relax on Anantashesha. And from this Anantashesha, the lotus comes out, and on the top of the lotus, the Brahma sits, and the stem of that lotus, there are 14 lokas are created in that. And then from that creation, the Brahmaji is basically that, when he goes back in the stem and he hear tapa, so he do a lot of meditation and all that. And after the meditation, the Lord appears in front of him and then ask him to do the creation. That is the secondary creation, which is mentioned in the Bhagavatam also. There are 10 subject of Bhagavatam. So the Garbhodaksha, the Brahmaji started the creation, and then while creation, he created a lot of living entities. But the living entities are created, and he put the Atma in that every living entities. But he find that they are not working. They are still in the same position. They are not doing anything. So then he goes back to the Lord, and they says that, oh, I have inserted the Atma in every living entity, and now what need to be done? So then the Lord personally put a Paramatma in every living entity, and then how we start functioning it. And that is what basically I'm talking about again is basically the first creation. the first time, the first, because we are anant, basically that we were there anadir, we are there from the where the when the creation was started, we are there from, but we don't understand that the soul is basically that you said the soul is came from the Lord. So we are started from that time, and still we are continuing that. So that is how the processes happen. And then when the Paramatma is created, is basically in the form of Shirodaksha Vishnu, entered into the everyone hearts. It's basically the Sirodaksha Vishnu, because the Lord himself is entering as a Sirodaksha Vishnu in every individual heart. So there are three Vishnus: the Karnadaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaya Vishnu, and Sirodaksha Vishnu. So Karnadaksha is basically who created the universe coming out from his pore and all that. And then Sirodaksha is basically that, Garbhodaksha is basically who's sitting on the universe, each universe, and from there the Brahma is created. So there are so many Brahmas, as Lord, as Prabhu is mentioned, there are so many Brahmas in that every universe, and every universe is going through the yugas cycle. Yeah, so that is this is how it is. So basically, that Srila Prabhupada also mentioned that basically that when the first Satya Yuga, I'm talking about the first Satya Yuga. That's also mentioned earlier. The first Satya Yuga is created. So that time there was no Mahapralaya. The first, because when something we started, you can't recycle it. First time, everything you see that it says recycle. Recycle means basically that again there's creating again new one. But that time there was when you create a first product, it's never said this. It's basically that first product means coming from the original products, different components of the product. But when you do recycle, so it's a written in that you can recycle it. But that's why the first time there was no Mahapralaya. First time I'm talking about and then when the first time this the yugas were created by the Lord, the Satya Yuga, Trita Yuga, Dwapar Yuga, and Kali Yuga. So we were there in the Satya Yuga, and then Satya Yuga was we had very long life, but we didn't do the bhakti at that time. We still continue with our material desire and so many things and all that. So we continue with that, and we said, oh, what, why to do bhakti and all that. But they were, so we don't do anything, and just we continue our life, and it's went on like that. Then from that Satya Yuga, we were sent to the Trita Yuga. And Trita Yuga, that our life was span was 10,000 year, and again we did the same mistake. We didn't do any bhakti there also. We thought that why, what is the need of that, So, but yes, because our desire was something else. And then we were sent back to the Dwapar Yuga. And from Dwapar Yuga, our age was in Dwapar Yuga, our age was 1,000 years. We still got the time to do the bhakti and all that. And then from the Dwapar Yuga, we sent to the Kali Yuga. I'm talking about, again, I'm just mentioning again because we are talking about the first these 4 yugas. And then again, we didn't do any bhakti and all that. And then what happened that we didn't do any bhakti. But see, look at the Lord, as Prabhu mentioned that the mercy is important, then the mercy is very important. So the Lord is basically that he's sending again to all you guys. Okay, do here, do this. Like sometime in organization also, if there's multinational organization, big organization, if the person, they find out this person has a capability on another thing, or he is not able to do in this particular section, they send him to another section. They don't throw him out completely. They try to adjust him something, that okay, at least he will work something permanently, or be productive in that sense, that for the organization. But again, we are also like that. We are not productive. We are productive means being bhakti. We are not doing bhakti at all. So again, the Lord given us so many chances, like 10,000 years, more than Satyuga, I don't know how many years, and in Dwapar Yuga 1,000 years, and Kali Yuga 100 years. Still, we don't know. So many years we spent on this, getting the bhakti, but still we don't know. So Lord gave us a lot of chances, but still we don't understand that, and still we are struggling. Why we struggling? Because we have a lot of problem in us, and because, as I mentioned, that we still not able to get into this mode of goodness. Still, that is the biggest challenge we have, and that's the reason Prabhupada is writing every purport so nicely that we understand the process. We try to engross ourselves into this purport, and Prabhupada has mentioned that once you read all this purport, understand my books, he'll go back to the Golokdam. So that is how the Prabhupada powerful is. Prabhupada is mentioning. Now, what happened that after that, when we are entered into a Kali Yuga, and then we die, and then once we die, we go back to the Karunadaksha Vishnu. And then what happened that because we have a karma balance, there is a karma because whatever we have done, we have enjoyed more than doing the bhakti. So we have not done bhakti. So the karmas was still balance in that, and then we have to rotate ourselves. So they then again the as per the last whatever we have thought in mind, or whatever we have at the time of the death, or whatever desires were there, again we get uh, the body according to that. And that all this, that's how we are landed into this system. Then the second creation happened. I was talking initially the first initial creation. Now the second creation happened. Then we, according to that, we get a body of whatever our desire. Our desire to become a dog, we get a dog body. Our desire to become like any other, like Bharat Maharaj was thinking of the deer. He got the body of deer. So we need to learn from those scripture that our desire is the problem. There is a desire for um, to be in bhakti all the time, and the desire to be in material world all the time. So what we have to decide that which way we have to lead, whether we will go this way or that way. It's we have to decide. If we cannot decide, then we'll remain in this particular uh, material world again and again. So the Lord is creating. Why is creating this universe? Because He is so merciful that He want to give us a chance. Like in exam also, the teacher said that you have to give you have to give a retest. So it's a retest for us. We have to give this retest and to appear it, and some fail, and they fail me, they back to the material world. So we have to understand this, that if we fail, we have to suffer. If we pass, we enjoy the basically that what we want to be. So that is how important is the bhakti is. That and the Lord is like the I'll give you example of in the material world, basically like the Prabhupada also give there's a child is there and the father is there. The child say that I want to play I want to do this, I want to do that. The father said, don't do this, you'll hurt yourself. But the end, then child hurt himself, and then father said, oh, I told you, remember that. But the Lord is not interfering in our this thing. He's saying you want to enjoy it, but I'm giving an option of the bhakti also. Leave it or take it, it's up to you. So we need to understand that, okay, why the Lord is saying that. And He's coming, He's waiting for us to, He is again giving us chance. Okay, this body you want it, okay, you want this way, okay, I will give you this way. Then you come to this stage, and then if you still want to go back to your hellish position, go back, no problem. So this is up to your desire. That's what this particular purport is saying, that the Lord is basically creating a place for us this cosmic world is creating for us to basically do the bhakti. And maybe this is, maybe some of you maybe have a last chance to remain in this material world. But one, we must understand that if you have to cross this material world, we have to do bhakti. There's no other process. Harinam is the only process which is so simple. And if you look at that other sampradaya, they actually do a lot more than us. They practice so much. It's actually, if you look at that Gaudiya Sampradaya, actually the Gaudiya Mata and all that, they do every day 64 rounds. We do only 60 rounds. So Prabhupada gave us this mercy so that you also come. One day you will realize, okay, you have to gradually, you will elevate your from 16 to 64 rounds or more. So that's Prabhupada is giving us a chance to elevate ourselves, to come to this platform of Satoguna, pure Satoguna. So we go back and then we attain our where actually the initial or the original position is. So it is very easy process to enter into it, but difficult process to maintain it. And that's the reason the whole Bhagavad Gita is talking about this. Whole Srimad Bhagavatam is talking about this. To come to this position, be the servant and understand the Lord position. So that is this. This is all I talked about. This three Vishnu, how they from Kannadaksha Vishnu, Garbhodaksha Vishnu appear, and from this the Shirodaksha Vishnu, how he came by putting the Paramatma into the each individual. So that is the, you need to understand that we got manufactured directly by inserting that engine of Paramatma in our body. So we have to be very thankful that we understand this. Yeah, Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Thank you, Prabhuji, for explaining us the three Vishnus. I think that is a very difficult concept, and the more we have discussions on it and we talk about it, the better our understanding is. And also the importance of doing bhakti and the urgency that time and time we've been such a naughty people over here. We've been told time and time, and yet we are not able to grasp the concepts. Any questions, comments? Opening this up now. Kindly
Correction
unmute
also.
and ask your
Correction.
question.
Maybe I'm just trying to. That's my understanding. Maybe there's some other concept or the understanding of that. So.
Avinash Prabhuji, yeah.
Hare
Yeah, I
Krishna.
just wanted some clarification here. First of all, is to do with the Satyuga, Dwapar Yuga, and so on. So we came back to another yuga, and another yuga. Yeah, now we are in Kali Yuga. So my question is, some spirit souls must have gone back to Godhead between now and then, between Satyuga. So the ones we are as well, we are just coming back because we come back now and then because of our activities, our karma we have created in the previous life. So that is one point I just want a clarification on. And the second point is that even if you die in this yuga, in Kali Yuga, you can be still born again in Kali Yuga. You don't have to wait until the whole cycle when you go back to second annihilation and the second cycle. So we can take so many births within this Kali Yuga as well. So I just wanted some clarification on those sort of points.
Okay, Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu,
Hare
see,
Krishna.
I didn't understand your first question. Second, I understood. I can answer second first, or then you can explain me first again.
So the first question was, when we come back from Dwapar to Treta to, Satya, Dwapar, Treta, and Kali Yuga, we have come back. In that sort of time, there must be quite a lot of souls who have actually gone back to Godhead. Yeah. And
Correct.
so,
Yes.
so the ones we have remained are the ones actually are affected by the karmic activities, because we are remaining in here because of our karmic activities. I just wanted clarification rather than
Yes, yes, yes.
yeah.
You are right. Like a very simple example is basically like to understand that is point is basically like in school, we are in a particular class, right? Some student fail and some passed, right? So some who have failed, they have to repeat again. But those who are passed the exam and they go back to the next class. Similarly, our case also we are failing. Why are we failing? Because we are not, as you mentioned, that we have so many activities. So that is the point, yeah. So if we don't do proper bhakti and all that, we come back to this again, we suffer and we come back to this same position. So it's just given an example of the class, like we fail, we repeat again, we fail, we repeat again. So that's very simple, yeah. The second question was related to the what happened to the Kali Yuga when we die, right? And we come back to the Kali Yuga.
That's right. So my question is that we don't have to wait until the whole creation takes place again. So sometime, I mean, my understanding is that you die in this yuga if you haven't done the bhakti of done well in this yuga, you still come back in this yuga as well as something else, rather than wait until the next creation takes place. So
Yeah, yes, yes. So it's depend actually. It's depend actually that whether you see, like as I mentioned, that we've already passed the 50 years of Brahma. So the another 50 years is still left. Yeah, I think so. I don't know exactly, but we something we have passed already the 50 year or something like that. So another this maybe the I think maybe this something is left. I'm not exactly aware of that, but yes, some time is already passed of Burma, which is I don't know exactly, but I'll try to find out how much time we have already passed from this Burma age. But yes, so still, if you see that we have to come back in because the Kali Yuga is still there. So many years are there in the Kali Yuga. So if you die and then if you have a desire, which is then you come back in this yuga also. But if there are certain aspect which is I think where we do a certain aparad, a big aparad, then we have to suffer a lot, and then we come back to the we have to repeat the whole cycle, and then we come back to the this yuga, or maybe in other yuga, because your suffering is so much, because you're doing mistake, and again, and in certain position you are coming to the certain position, and then again you are doing a mistake, and then you're repeating the same thing. So it depends. So it's not necessary that you come back in this yuga. Possible, or it may be possible that you may add up in another yuga, but again it's depend on the basically that how you are practicing it, how you're this thing, what happened and all that. So it's all dependent, not necessarily. Maybe it takes another second yuga that you come back in the second yuga, Kali Yuga. It's all depend on basically that, because we are suffering so much, we are doing so, our desire is not getting to that level, we are doing so many aparadha. So again, it's not fixed that you will come in this yuga or you will come in that yuga. Maybe mostly will come in Kali Yuga only. because of our activities, our desire and all that. So it's very difficult to judge that. It's only Lord knows that where He's going to put us, right? Maybe example I give you in previous like class. He said no, the student is not even, he has to repeat all the classes again. Yeah. So it depends that how our activities are. It's all depend on that. Yes, Prabhu, is okay.
Yeah, thank you, thank you. It's just I wanted clarification that you don't have to wait until the whole of the creation to come back, because soul can come back anytime. So
Yes.
that's what. Yeah,
Yes,
thank
yes,
you.
yes, yes, yes.
Hare Krishna Prabhuji. And to continue with the same question, my understanding is, and I can be wrong, that in all the other universes, so in different universes, it's in different yugas. So right now in this universe 101, we are in Kali Yuga. But in another universe 102, there is Satyug. In 103, there is Treta Yuga and all that. So my understanding is, according to what you desired in this birth, um, I am assuming that Kali Yuga will be really bad in the next 200 years. And but you did karmas and you did devotional service, and you still have some more karmas to do. You might be transported to another universe 103 in the Satyug. I mean, it doesn't, I feel, my understanding can be wrong, but my understanding is that you don't have to be in this universe born again. You can be transported anywhere, in any universe, and you don't have to be coming back to Kali Yuga. Am I right in my thinking?
Yeah, it's again, it's depend. It's basically like the what happened basically when the the Lord inhale the universe, right? It's then and then there are so many universe, inhale exhale is there's so many universes are creating and happening, all that. If you are lucky that you may be transported into another universe, it's a Lord wish, it's not our desire, we cannot, it's the Lord decides, Lord feels that okay, put it in this is like this student is like is more intellectual, is more intelligent, he should not be in fourth class, he'll be in 10th class. It's depend on the Lord, this thing. So it's Lord decides. We there is no clarity on that way that okay, it's the we can go there and all that. No, it's Lord decide. He's mercy, right? Maybe that he find that okay, because of this he's done it, let put him somewhere else and all that. But yes, it's Lord desire, Lord wish, wherever you want to put us.
Hare Krishna. Divyesh Prabhuji, you have a question. Thank you, Prabhuji, for that clarification. Divyesh Prabhuji?
Hare Krishna. My question is that when Lord Krishna was saying these words on the battlefield, they were not, who decided on the chapters and the verses the way they've been arranged in the Bhagavad Gita? Because I think this was a conversation between Lord and Arjun. So how did we get these different chapters? Who decided to put it this way? Or was it specifically spoken in that way? It's just a clarification.
Yeah, it's a good question actually. See, when the Lord spoken to the Arjuna, they were not arranged in this fashion. Actually, he spoke in 45 minutes, the all the verses and all that. It is basically that for us, for our understanding, this has been arranged like that. Because the Lord will not say it's bhakti yoga or karma yoga or jnana yoga. No, will not say that, because basically this conversation happening, and then it is basically for our knowledge or for our understanding. It's been arranged like that. Yes, the Lord spoken all these words in Arjuna discussion and with the lords and all. It's all spoken in 45 minutes. But initially, if you look at that, is basically that's one conversation going on. But it was not arranged like that. It is for our understanding that we divided for our understanding this chapter So we understand where is the Karam Yoga, where is the Bhakti Yoga, where is the Gyan Yoga. So there's three sections we divided further, and they're more detailed also. We understand that each section has so many detail in that. It is for our understanding. These verses has been arranged, or chapter been arranged, but those all are in sequence. This whatever the Lord spoken is all in sequence, but we divided those into a different part of it. Is
So
okay, Prabhu?
Hare Krishna, who decided to arrange it this way?
Even this, I don't know exactly about the who have decided, but this is why my understanding that this is what it is. This is what I don't know. Maybe I don't know exactly who have decided. Yeah, that
Maybe Madan Gopal Prabhuji can throw some light.
Yeah, so Mahabharata was written by Vyasadeva, and Bhagavad Gita is part of Mahabharata. And Mahabharata itself is broken into parvas, and each parva has a chapter, and each chapter has verses. So Gita, being part of the Mahabharata, is one of the sections of within the Bhishma Parva. Within Bhishma Parva, there's a Gita section. Within Gita section, it's divided into chapters, and the chapters are divided into verses. So where one starts, one verse ends, where one chapter starts, one chapter ends, that was decided by Vyasadeva himself. Also, if you look at the verses objectively, say there were no chapters, all just one big block of text, 700 verses approximately. Anybody can easily decide, or anybody can easily divide into these 18 chapters. Why? Because at the beginning of each chapter, now Krishna says, now I'm going to talk about this. That means he's changing the topic. That's easy. Okay, from this point, we'll call it another chapter. Then at the beginning of the next chapter, like chapter 7, he says, now here, son of Pritha, by how, he says, Maya Sakta Manapartha Yogam. So at the beginning, the first verse of every chapter, Krishna is now doing a shift of topic. He announces it. So it's fairly easy to figure out where chapters can start. But this is divided and organized by Vyasadeva himself. The name Vyasa means editor, one who cuts, one who divides. That's his job, to divide into chapters. Divide, like if his first job was to divide the big Veda into 4 Vedas and divide it further into Upanishads and so many different things, and organize and divide, editing to make it easier for us to understand. So to answer your question, who decides where the chapters start and all, that is done by Vyasadeva himself. These numbers were given by him. And same thing in all the Bhagavatam and all that, they're all numbered by him, by Vyas.
Thank you for the clarification. Appreciate it. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna, are there any questions? Maybe I can ask a question if there isn't any. I don't want to hog up everybody's time. Okay, my question is to Madan Gopal Prabhuji, because you read in the purport, Prabhuji, that although I'm one, I shall become many. Is Krishna talking about his expansions over here?
Yes, this is his expansions, but you see, the thing is, we have to understand what expansions mean. There are various categories of expansions. And there's a Vedic aphorism, Nityo Nityanam, Chetanas Chetananam, Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman, which means that there are many living beings that are eternal. And there are many, and those all eternal ones are also Chetana. They're conscious. They're living, they're conscious. And Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. Out of the whole group of all entity, living, conscious, eternal beings, there's one particular one who's different from the others. Eko Bahunam Yo Vidadati Kaman. So that one special living entity who's much bigger than all the others in a sense, he's the one who fulfills the desires of all the others. Okay. So Bahu Syam, it is said in the Chandogya Upanishad, Eko Bahu Syam, that I am one, but I've also expanded myself into many to enjoy. So basically, these are all the expansions of Krishna, and we in that category are also considered expansions of Krishna. All living entities are also in one sense expansions because we are the Nityas. You see, Prabhupada has given this analogy many times that we are like gods, small gods. There's one big God, and then we are small gods. So we can all say we are Ishvara. Prabhupada said we can consider ourselves Ishvara, but not Parameshwara. There's only one Parameshwara. So we are Ishvara means controller. We can control certain things. We have some influence, a sphere of influence. We can control this, control that, depending on how much power we have been allotted by the Lord. So some control is given to us, Ishvarta. But there's really only one Parameshwara. So his point here is that all these living entities that are expanded into the material world as well as, of course, the spiritual world, they are many. It looks like they're created, but they're not exactly created because they're eternal. They're beginningless. You see? So in order to enjoy, Krishna exists by himself and also with his expansions. Krishna is never alone. You know, that's the point over here he's making, that he expands himself in this material energy and the whole cosmic manifestation takes place again. You see? So there is need for, okay, so anyway, this is like a little confusing. Why is this point being made over here? So the point being made is that Krishna is the source of all of us, even though we are beginningless. That's what makes it very hard to understand. You know. Also, we are non-different from Krishna, and yet we are also different from Krishna. This is known as the philosophy of Achintya Bheda Bhed, where Krishna is the same as his expansions, but he's also not exactly the same. You know, and it is very difficult to conceive or understand this thoroughly, which is why it's called Achintya. Which is also one of the reasons why this philosophy of we are all God is attractive, because at some level it is true, you know, but we are not all the Supreme Lord. There's only one Supreme God. So that is the point being made over here, Eko Bahusyam, that although I am one, I become many. So to answer your question, it's about his expansions, but you also recognize that we are also his expansions. See?
So his expansions don't need to be in his shape and form. It can be anybody.
Yeah, the interesting thing is that we are, it said we are made in the image of God, right? So what about the lion? Or what about the kangaroo? Or the sheep and the goat and the pig? They are also living creatures. They are not made in the image of God. What about them? Actually, the fact is God exists in all these shapes and forms. Krishna has original expansion, original avatars in all the species, 8,400,000 species that are there. There's a larger version of Bhagavatam which explains his leelas that he's performed in all various forms. Like we've seen his fish one, Matsya is there, Kurma is there. So we only know about a handful of them. But in other edition of Bhagavatam, every species Krishna has done some incarnation, as a spider, ant, shrimp, anything. So all these forms are also eternal forms. Yeah, I can see your eyes becoming wider and wider.
Yeah. I didn't know that.
So the Bhagavatam we have is just a sampling. It's a small sampling of the full story. Because Krishna is unlimited, his expansions are unlimited, his glory is unlimited, his avatars are unlimited. And because we are limited, we can only handle so much and digest so much. So we just give a little bit of a glimpse that Krishna can come as a fish, he can come as a pig. And even when he comes as a pig, he's not born from another female pig. He's born from the nose of Brahma. So he does all kinds of unusual, weird things that we think are very far out. Just to show us that he's completely independent and that everything, all living creatures, are made in the image of God. You see? That's why he comes in different colors too. Some people think, white people are supposed to be superior, white is the best color, and then sometimes black, they say, no, black is the best, and then the Indian people say, no, brown is the best. No, Krishna comes in all colors, black, brown, blue, red, everything, to show that his avatar is Krishna is considered, he's black originally, right? We see Krishna is black feature. But then his first expansion is white, Balaram, right? Balaram is basically a white Krishna, and Krishna is a black Balaram. They're not different. You see, so the Lord is always trying to tell us these are different flavors of his manifestation that are all divine. You see, they're all divine. And so, yes, we are made in the image of God, but God has created everything in his image because his image is also unlimited. You see, so we have to think a little more broadly when we try to see that everything comes from the Lord. Ultimately, it's a reflection of the spiritual world.
I understand this as a jigsaw puzzle. we are all in this big jigsaw puzzle, and everybody has a small part. And to finish the puzzle, you have to have all the parts. Okay, any more questions or comments or realizations? We've extended our time, and we've been graced by two great mentors today. So, any doubts, any clarifications? Okay, if there are no doubts and clarifications, Divyesh Prabhuji, can you please do the service of closing the session for today, please, Prabhuji?
Thank you. Hare Krishna. It has been a great honor and pleasure to have two wonderful speakers, Prana Haridas Prabhuji and Madan Gopal Das Prabhuji. We are very, very grateful and honored for your association. We thank you for always removing time out of your busy schedules to create some time for us. And we look up to you, and thank you for explaining a lot of some of the ideologies and scriptures that sometimes perplex us, and for eliminating our doubts. We're always grateful for you to join our class. Please do keep on coming. And thank you very, very much. I request everyone to unmute and chant the Ma mantra for our two wonderful speakers today. Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna,
Hare
Hare
Krishna,
Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Ram,
Ram, Hare
Hare
Ram, Ram Ram,
Rama
Hare
Rama, Hare Hare.
Vancha Kalpatarubhyasya
Kalpatarubhyascha
Kripa
Kripa
sindhubhya eva
Sindhubhya
cha
eva cha
patitanam
Patitanam
pavanebhyo
Pavanebhyo
Vaishnavebhyo namo
Vaishnavebhyo
Namo Namaha. Hare Krishna.
Hare
Thank you.
Krishna. Thank you. Hari Bol.
Very well.
Srila Prabhupada ki,
Ki
Jai.
Jai,
Madan Gopal
Pran
Prabhuji ki jai,
Pran Hare
Pran Hari
Hari
Prabhuji
Prabhu
ki
Ki
jai,
Jai,
Jai.
Sarva Vaishnav Vrinda ki
Ki
jai.
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 Thank you, everybody. It was a good class today. We get such mercies now and then when we have two giant mentors with us.
And Madan Gopal Prabhu can surprise us every time.
Yeah, he
No.
does. He just pops in, and therefore,
It's nice of him to surprise us.